subject, what were their experiences with active learning, for example. And that gave us a lot of very good input. So we realized that the participants came from a lot of different subjects, which was very interesting. And also that some of them were already a bit acquainted with different active learnings and flipped classroom techniques. So we tried to utilize that in a way. So for those of you who weren't there, what did we do? I'm going to give you a very, very short overview of what we did during the course. The first day, we started off with a course introduction, of course. And the first real session, was a discussion around pedagogical development in general. And as a starting point for that discussion, we actually used another tool that came from another Erasmus project. They called the TETSAT, the Technology Enhanced Teaching Self-Assessment Tool. It's very good to use as a starting point for discussion, so we used some of the questions from that. And then in the afternoon, we did a workshop on active learning. I tried to introduce that. And I don't know if you can probably not see the details in the picture, but that's our participants actively participating. The second day we spent in our active learning classroom. It's a special room that we built for supporting active learning. We had a lot of guest lectures during that day, the most important one perhaps being one of our teachers who is our expert in using the active learning classroom for different purposes. The third day we introduced the flipped classroom concept. We discussed a lot about what that entails. And then a lot of the day was a training session in recording material for use as the material that the students were going to use to prepare for the active learning sessions in the flipped classroom context. And we did that by using the features of recording sound to PowerPoint presentations. Perhaps some of you might think that that's a bit low-tech, but our idea is to use simple technology to instead shift the focus to discussing the pedagogical issues. Why are we doing this? Why are we recording things now? How are we going to use this in a context for our students? And then at the end of the day, we had a really interesting session where the participants presented their results. The fourth day, we introduced the final project that was supposed to be about course design or course redesign. Before lunch, we had something called an ABC Learning Design Workshop. That's a method that's developed by the University College of London. It's a fairly guided workshop where you give the participants some sort of building blocks for creating a course design, an overall course design for a technology-enhanced course. And then we asked the participants to further develop this during the afternoon. And then on the fifth day, they had to present their final project. Here you can see one of our participants presenting his redesign of a course. Most of these final projects, they actually concern the teacher training courses that these participants were going to teach. So I think it was very, very good for them. And then we ended the day with discussions of future work. How can we use this that we have learned? How can we bring this home and make it work? How can we implement this? Well then, what was the results? We all did the same course evaluation, and all our 18 participants answered, and we got very high remarks on all these sections concerning the course objectives, the course contents, and the quality of instruction. I summarized this to about 4.7, so that was really good. I would like to talk about some of the things that got lower grades. For example, time management. We realized afterwards that some of our sessions were too short and some of them were too long, perhaps. And one of the important things that I think we could do better is leaving enough time for feedback to participants. A lot of participants presented the really good work, and we didn't have enough time to give them proper feedback on that. So that's an important point. And also one of the comments that we saw was one of the things that we could have arranged was perhaps meetings for our participants to see colleagues from their own subjects. We didn't have time to arrange that, but that would have been a good idea. In the benefits section of the course evaluation, some participants they commented on that they were already acquainted with some of the material. And that's good, but let me get back to that on a comment on the next slide. These are some of the quotes from the participants. One of them said, "I will recommend this course to everyone. High professionalism of its structures. Thank you very much. Excellent company and very interesting, useful material." And one of the participants said that the creative atmosphere in the classroom inspired further improvement. And that's very great. We're very thankful for that. That was what were our intention. And one of the participants said that before this training, I used separate methods of active learning, but this was from time to time and unsystematic. But the course helped me to understand how to apply active methods systematically. And that, I think, is a very, very good comment, because you never get participants where you start from scratch. Everyone has some sort of knowledge or experiences, and it's important to use that. But what this participant said that, okay, this course helped me to take the things that I already knew and then to put it in a new context and apply it systematically. And I think that was really, really good. I also took a look at the report from the teacher training courses, and here are indeed some of the pictures from those. And we were all very excited to see the participants work in their home institutions, giving their teaching training courses. And from what we have seen, they have done what we expected. They have adapted the original courses to benefit the local context, and they have used other tools that are available and are perhaps more relevant to them in their context. So that's very good. So we are very excited to see that. And some conclusions then. Well, what we saw that was most of our participants were overall very satisfied with the course, so we are very happy with that. And it seems that it was modular enough to be able to adapt this to different contexts. But one of the important points was time management and feedback to the participants. So this is one thing that you can develop further, indeed. And one of the ideas, one idea could be to, we've seen these teacher training courses now being applied. Since our course had a focus on flipped classroom, maybe it could be an idea to try to incorporate that more in the teacher training courses. We'll see about that. We can discuss this later, perhaps. Well, a big thank you to all our participants. Here they are in our active learning classroom. We are very great to have you at Linköping University. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Peter. You were very, very quick, leaving more time for break. Thank you for this also. And the last presentation is by Doris Kendall, Professor of Graz Applied Science University.